نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, welcome to the second session of Al-Fail. We have started the study of Fail, and Alhamdulillah, this is a second session. And in Nahw, study of Nahw, this is lesson 13 for the basic Nahw studies. So, Alhamdulillah, we have done some basic foundational topics for ism, and now we are learning about what is a fail and how we are going to use these concepts that we are going to learn in our sub studies for making or learning about different patterns of words. They will be very helpful in learning sub studies, inshallah. So let's start. Uh, Bismillah. Uh, in the last session, we learned about what is a Jumla Ismiya and what is a Jumla Failia, and we did, Alhamdulillah, a good review for Jumla Ismiya that it has two main parts, the Mubtada and the Khabar, and Mubtada will always be definite, and the Khabar will always be indefinite, that is Nakira, Marfa and Nakira. These are the two main parts of a Jumla Ismiya. And then we had some examples for Jumla Ismiya as well. Then we learned that a Jumla Ismiya starts with an Ism and a Jumla Failia starts with a Fail. And then we started a study of Fail. Alhamdulillah. We learned that a verb that is called a Fail in Arabic is a single word that gives the meaning of a full sentence because it includes the main parts of a verbal sentence, that is the action, the doer of the action, and the tense, and they all come together to make a jumla failure. Like we did some examples, like in English, we say he wrote, she wrote, they wrote, but in Arabic, it's just one word, kataba. He wrote, katabat, she wrote, and katabtum or katabtu or like this, we do the chart of different pronouns using different damair. And inshallah, as I mentioned when we were doing a study of damair, that we have to learn the chart that we did, hua, huma, hum, that we have to learn it very properly because it will help us study in when we will start our fail. So inshallah, we are going to revise all the concepts of pronouns damair that we did in the study of ism, inshallah. So then again, we learned that fail has three important parts: fail madi, fail mudari, and fail that is past tense, present tense, and command. Then there are more here one more is added here, فعل नहीं, فعل ماضي, فعل مضارع, فعل and فعل नहीं. فعل ماضي is a past tense, فعل مضارع is a present and the future tense. And I mentioned by just adding a letter, we can convert a present tense into a future tense, and but the rest of the spelling will be same. Alhamdulillah. Then we see that there is another part of fail, that is fail that is command. When we say katab, like kataba, he wrote, then the command will be uktub. Then that is the command form, and then inshallah this we are going to learn about it. Like forbid is fail nahi, that English, like we say don't do that, don't do this. don't eat, don't drink. These are all forbidding, and inshallah, we are going to learn it in Arabic as well, in fi'l nahi. So, Jumla failure, like we learned that in Jumla Ismiya, there are two main parts, Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada and Khabar. Just like Jumla Ismiya, Jumla failure has two parts, has also two parts, Fa'il and Fa'il, the verb and the doer or the subject, right? And then we learned that Mubtada and Khabar. We did some analysis that we know that for Mubtada and Khabar, Mubtada has to be Marfa and Khabar should be common or Nakira. And file can be Marfa or Nakira, both. The doer or the subject can be both. This is for Jumla Ismiya and this is for Jumla Failure. Again, for mubtada, it can be muzakkar or muannas, but khabar should match mubtada, and for file, it can be muzakkar or muannas. Then, for the number, mubtada, khabar, and file can be wahid, tasniya, and jama. But one thing was common in all of these is the i'rab. Is the i'rab. They all should be marfu. That means they should be rafa in status, right? Okay, then we did an example for Jumla failure, that how a Jumla failure can be used in a sentence. وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ. Why we are calling it a Jumla failure? We learned that a Jumla ismiya starts with an isim and Jumla failure starts with a fail. So we can see here that this is a fail because it doesn't have any quality or sign of an isim. So it is a fi'l. It doesn't have al, it doesn't have tanween, it doesn't have ta marbuta, nothing. So this is a fi'l and this is a file and this is a maf'ul. وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ. And Dawood killed Jalut. So Jumla failure comprises a verb, a subject, and an object. And while translating, we know that in Arabic, usually the verb comes first and followed by subject and object. But when we translate it, our subject or the doer will come first, right? Okay, Alhamdulillah. So the subject, we know that the doer is called the file and the object will be called maf'ul or maf'ul bihi. Alhamdulillah. Then we did the example of this boy kicking the boy kicking the ball. So who is the doer here? Who is the file? The boy. The boy is kicking the ball. So kicking is a fail here, the action, and ball is the remaining part of the sentence or the detail of the sentence, and that is a maf'ul or the object. Alhamdulillah. Now, this is the third component of a Jumla failure, and it is also very important to learn. And as we will progress in our study of fail, we will learn that there are more components or more parts of Jumla failure, and inshallah, as we will progress, we are going to add up those components in our Jumla failure as well, inshallah. So now we have three main parts of Jumla failure, fail, file, and maf'ul. This is a verb, this is a doer or the subject, and this is an object or the detail of a Jumla failure. Now, Jumla failure has three parts. Now here we are going to see what we are going to do. Jumla failure and Jumla ismiya. So the main parts are discussed here for Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Failure. Mubtada and Khabar for Jumla Ismiya, and for Jumla Failure, we learned that a file and maf'ul. Here a file will be marfu and a maf'ul will be mansoob, because we know that maf'ul here, the detail, the object is always nasab in status. We learned that in any sentence, detail will be in the state of nasab, that is mansoob. So because maf'ul is a detail of the sentence of our jumla fa'liya, then that is why it will be mansoob in nasab status. Okay, alhamdulillah. Now then again we did the examples for fail, file and maf'ul. خلق الله السماوات والأرض بعث الله رسولا قتل داود جالوتا. Here we can see these are all fail, and you can see that one thing in common, that these all fail. This listen carefully, because this is going to help you a lot as we are going to learn about the verbs. These three fi'ls have one thing in common. You can see the i'rab. Khalaqa, ba'asa, qatala. They all have fatha. Fatha, fatha, and fatha. They are all past tense. Simple past tense, because they are this is the basic form of a fi'l that has all the fathas on the three letters. Khalaqa, ba'asa, and qatala. And this is a past tense. This is a past tense. Okay. So these are the file of our sentences. Allah lafzul jalala, Allah lafzul jalala, and Dawudu here, because they all have Dhamma. Then this is the detail of a sentence, Jumla Fa'liya, and it is Mansoob. They are all Mansoob. Alhamdulillah. Now let's learn a new thing today. As I've already mentioned, that we are going to add more and more components to our Jumla Fa'liya, right? So inshallah, we will see that how we are going to add more in our more components in our Jumla Fa'liya. We already learned about the three main components of a Jumla Fa'liya that are fa'il, file, and maf'ul. And today we are going to learn something about a zarf, that is the adverb of place and time. Adverb of place and time, and most of you have already know this term adverb, and you have learned this in your English grammar. Adverb of place and time. We call it zarf in Arabic language, right? So I have put the zarf in the end of the sentence, but one thing to note here, that a zarf can come in the start of a jumla fi'liya as well. It can come in the start, and it can come in the end of a sentence. Fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul, zarf, or it can be zarf, fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul. And inshallah, we are going to see some examples for this pattern as well, inshallah. So let's see. Let's take an example for a zarf. You already know how to check or analyze your fa'il, file, and maf'ul. Fa'il is a verb, file is a doer or the subject, maf'ul is an object or the detail of the sentence, and this thing we have added here is zarf or adverb, that is an adverb of time or a place or time. So here I read Surah Kahf on Friday. I read Surah Kahf on Friday. I have set this construction like fa'il first and then file, because we are going to learn the Arabic sentences and they will be in this formation. Fa'il first, then file, then maf'ul, and then a zarf. And I mentioned that zarf can in the beginning, can come in the beginning of a sentence. So, but while translating, a subject will come first. I read Surah Kahf on Friday, Alhamdulillah. So, as this word on Friday, it is it is mentioning, or it is telling us that what is the place or the time of my reading Surah Kahf. And as I said that I read it on Friday, that means this is the zarf of time. It is the zarf of time, right? Because it is telling us the time. I can say that I read Surah Kahf on the chair, so that will be the place. That will be the surf of place, right? So you can change this as you like. You can put any zarf here, zarf zaman, or your adverb of time or place. I'll tell you the Arabic terms later, inshallah, as we'll progress, because it will get confusing. The Arabic term sometimes for the beginners is really confusing, and it gets hard to remember those concepts and terms, because we are already confused with the terms, the Arabic terms. So this time, right now, I want you to just focus on the terms. Don't worry about the Arabic terms. Just focus that what we are going to learn here, and we are going to learn about the adverb of time and place, and that is called zarf. This is important to learn right now. Let's take this beautiful example from Quran. Labistu yawman. Labistu yawman. And this is from the story of Uzair alayhi salam, when he was asked that how much he was, he remained or stayed. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him death for a long period of time, and when he was raised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised him again and asked them that how long have you remained? Then what did he say? He said, Labistu yawman. Labistu yawman. I remained for a day or a part of a day. So I remained for a day. I remained for a day. Labistu means to raise, or to remain, or to stay. So he said, I stayed, I remained. Here, I is your doer, and remained or stayed is your verb, right? So this is your fail and file, and I told you that a single fail gives you the meaning of a full sentence. Even if I remove this zarf from here, yawman, I remove it, it is a complete sentence in itself. Labistu, I remained, I stayed. It is a complete sentence. We do not need to add here anything. It is a full meaning sentence. I stayed. Now, as I mentioned, that we can add more details to our sentence, jumla ismiya and jumla fa'liya, and we are learning to add details here. And but remember this: whatever you are going to add detail here, remember this, that it will all be mansoob. It will all be in the lesson status. Like here, yawman. It is having the double fathas here, yawman, because this is nakira. Yawman, a day, for a day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he said that I remained or stayed for a day. So this is a zarf. And we will inshallah learn that how when we will learn about maf'ul study, that there are parts of this maf'ul, and this is a maf'ul fihi, which is a zarf of place and time. Inshallah, as we progress in our course, we are going to learn about different types of maf'ul as well, that how this maf'ul fihi is reserved of place and time. So here, labistu yawman is a very good example of a zarf, a maf'ul fihi. So I stayed or I remained for a day. Uh, this is the example of fail file. and zarf. And there we can add more to a sentence as well. But remember that they will all be in, they will all be mansoob, or they will all be in the same status, right? Alhamdulillah. Now let's have a quick recap of all that we learned. Jumla, we learned about two types of jumlas, Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Failiya. Jumla Ismiya has two main parts, Mubtada and a Khabar. Mubtada is a subject and Khabar is information that can be given for Mubtada. Then Jumla Failure has four parts. We learned four parts or four main components of Jumla Failure, and we can add more here. Fail, file, maf'ul, and a zarf. Verb, subject, object, and the adverb. Now let's talk about their i'rab. Jumla ismiya, mubtada and khabar. Mubtada should be marfu in status and should be marfa, definite. It should be proper. It should be definite. And a khabar should be marfu. It will have a dhamma or dhammatain, and it will be nakira. For a fa'al, this is a fa'al, and leave this fa'al, and let's talk about the three and see this. Fa'al will be marfu, detail, maf'ul or object. As I mentioned, it will always be mansoob, and I told you whatever we are going to add, this will all be the detail of the sentence, and it will be mansoob, 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 mansoob. Whatever we are going to add up here, this will all be the detail, and it will be nasab in status. Alhamdulillah. So these three for Jumla Ismiya, they will be all marfu. For Jumla Failya, the subject, as I mentioned, that subject, either it is from Jumla Ismiya or Jumla Failya, it will be marfu. It will be marfu. Alhamdulillah. Now look at this. Little addition to jumlas, as we saw in the last slide, that they are all marfu. Just learn a little more thing about them, that these will be all. Till now we have learned that they are all ism. Al-Mubtada is ism, Khabar is ism. A khabar can be a jumla failya, but we will learn it in our advanced grammar, that a khabar can be a jumla failya. But right now, we have learned that a mubtada and khabar both are ism, right? And for jumla is failya, file, mafool, and a zarf, they all will be ism. And inshallah, as we will progress, we'll see that they can all be other parts of speech as well. But for now, they are all ism. And a fail will remain a fail. It will not be turned into an ism. It will be fail. But all other parts, mubtada, khabar, file, mafool, and zarf, they are all ism. They are all ism. And as I mentioned, when we are going to learn more about Jumla Ismiya, we will see that a Jumla Failya is a khabar in itself. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so now that we have learned quite a bit about Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Failya, so let's learn some more things about fail. I have written here the fail separately by breaking its letters. Why in Arabic language we use fail, these three kalimas letters? I mentioned already that the letters are called kalima. A letter is called a kalima in Arabic language, and because we are learning about verbs, we are learning about verbs. fail. That is why these three letters will serve as variables now. From now on, these three letters, fa, ain, and lam, will serve as variables in a study of fail and in a study of surf, inshallah. So these three letters are very important to learn. Always remember these three kalmas, the fa kalima, the ain kalima, the lam kalima. The letter fa, letter ain, and letter lam. So any letter that comes in place of these three letters will take the place of fa, ain, and lam. They will serve as variables. They will be default letters for making different types of words, different types of sentences, jumla failure, and we are going to replace them with more and more letters, inshallah, to make different verbs, and inshallah, we will see that. And in this way, we will increase our vocabulary as well. It is going to help us in increasing our vocabulary as well. Inshallah, alhamdulillah. So see here, as I mentioned here, fail, break it in these three letters. These are a very basic letter form. The fa kalima, the ain kalima, the lam kalima. Right? Ain, fa, ain, and lam. They represent any root letters of words and they serve as variables. And remember this, most of the words in Arabic language, almost 99% words in Arabic language have three root letters and there are more words that have four root letters or five root letters, but the basic is that all the words have three root letters and we take fa, I, and lam as variables or the basic or default letters. Okay, alhamdulillah. So see, any letter that comes in place of fa is called the fa kalima. So let's see these examples. If I am going to put different letters here, how they are changing. Now this ain is my fa kalima. I mentioned that the words are made up from three root letters. Always, as 99% words have three root letters. So, and fa, ain, and lam are default letters. So here now we are going to put more letters to it to see how the words are formed. Fa'ala. And as I mentioned here, the three fathas are showing that this is the past tense. The three fathas, the basic tense, this is a family one where we are going to learn. We have started our self-studies. You can go through those lectures as well, go through those videos to learn about the surf, that how this surf engine works. So for now, those who have not started surf, just listen carefully. Just learn this, that we have these three letters as a default letters, and we are going to put letters to form words in Arabic language. Like see here, if I'm going to put an ain on the fa kalima, this letter will be my fa kalima. This ain is my fa kalima. A letter that comes in the place of ain in ain kalima, here lam. This is my ain kalima because I'm putting it in the column of ain kalima. I'm putting it under ain kalima. This is my ain kalima. And then any letter that comes in the place of lam, it's called the lam kalima. It's called the lam kalima. My meme is my lam kalima. So fa'ala, as I told you, this is the letter, uh, default letter. So alhamdulillah, then it will be changed into alama, alama, fa'ala, alama. Put all the three fathas. As I mentioned, this is the basic form of fell, and that the past tense. So we are going to put the fathas here, all fathas. Ain, uh, alama, ain, lam, mim, alama, fa'ala, alama. Just like that, put all the fathas here. Kataba, kataba, kataba. Like this, and so on. We can make thousands of words using this fa, ain, and lam kalima, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. So this, remember this, that these serves as our variables, our default letters, fa, ain, and lam, and inshallah, through these three letters, we will make thousands of words, and we will learn thousands of words to make in Arabic language. And when we remember that when we take these three root letters fa, ain, and lam kalima and put them together, it becomes fa'ala, right? It becomes fa'ala. Now we need to put harka on it to be able to read it, because right now they are without any haraka. So as I mentioned here, we are going to start with the fatha. Put all the fathas, and this is the very basic form of the verb family one. We are studying in our service studies that family one is the very basic form of the verb, and from this we'll start learning verbs, because this is very easy to learn. Put all the fathas, and it be on the fail for Allah, and just like that we are putting it here, so it becomes alama and kataba, and in this way we are going to make words. Right, so when we put all the fathas on these here, it automatically becomes a fa'ile madi, a past tense. It becomes a fa'ile madi, past tense. Alhamdulillah. So we learned how to make past tense, the very first form of the very basic form of verb for Allah. And in that, we are going to put fathas, all the fathas, to make words. Right? So we learned about how to make the word by putting the fathas. Alhamdulillah. So, okay, inshallah, Alhamdulillah, we are done. I think it's enough for today. So we will start with other examples in our next session, and we are going to end our session here. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.